There are fresh controversies surrounding the 2017 budget as new allegations of padding is trailing the National Assembly, although the word is not padding this time around.
What is it called this time around?
Well, wait and see what the word is going to be.
Increase. The presidency is accusing the leadership of the National Assembly of unilaterally introducing more than 400 strange projects into the budget before passing it last month. The said projects, according to the Vanguard newspapers, are mostly roads, health centers, recreational centers, water and electricity schemes, which are under state and local government that were never evaluated or included in the budget by the presidency.
Now, efforts by the presidency and the leadership of the National Assembly to sort out the grey areas in a meeting held on Sunday night failed to produce the desired result. This is as Nigerians eagerly await the signing into law of the 2017 fiscal document into law 6 months into the year.
At the same time, the presidency is concerned that the National Assembly slashed allocations to key federal agencies and projects and added them to its budget resonate from 115 billion naira to 125 billion at the time of economic hardship without considering the impact on other Nigerians.
Now, the presidency is also displeased that the National Assembly increased the budget by 143 billion naira from 7.3 trillion to 7.44 trillion naira without explaining where the additional cash will be derived from, saying the distortions will adversely affect the implementation of the budget as the government will be borrowing to fund the budget.
But Senate Leader Ahmed Lawan has defended the increase of the budget by 143 billion, saying that it will take care of vital projects such as second runway for the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport and others, and that the new project will be funded by the difference in the $42.5 dollars really for the benchmark proposed by the executive and the $44 really passed by the National Assembly.
Because we'll remember it was raised from $42 to benchmark to $44 benchmark, and that is about $2 difference. Now, here is a breakdown of the 2017 budget. 1.8 trillion naira is for debt servicing, and fiscal deficit is 2.35 trillion naira. 434 billion naira is for statutory transfers, and 177 billion naira is for sinking fund for maturing bonds, and also 3 trillion naira is for recurrent expenditure, and 2.2 trillion naira is for capital expenditure.
Right.
That gives you the background to and insight into how these things go. Joining us now is an economist, chartered accountant, and a public affairs analyst, Kenneth Olise. It's good to have you join us now.
Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Thank you, sir.
First, let us understand. When the budget is passed from the executive to the legislature, they're carrying out their constitutional roles and all of that. But when it comes to the tweaking of figures, inserting new or reducing it, what powers does the National Assembly have or not have to do all of that?
Well, when you have the budget proposed by the executive, you're sending to the House, for them to pass to make it a law. It is expected that they'll look at the contents of the budget and against certain background, and not to begin to make another budget entirely. Unfortunately, we have gone through this over the years, even from the days of President Obasanjo, former President Obasanjo, where the Senate, the House feels that they are, to recreate the budget. I don't think that it is proper for the House to begin to make another budget. You only work on the proposal as given to you. Like I said, maybe given my auditing background, when something is given to you to look at and you notice some, you make some observations, it is only better, it's only reasonable that you take those observations, give to the president, you look at it. Because the figures we are having now that we are looking at are informed. They are based on some parameter. They're not just figures, but for the sake of numbers. So when you begin to adjust them, they are going to cause some distortions. And this is why sometimes you see that the fiscal policies and monetary policies misalign. And when they misalign, they affect the economy as a whole. So I thought that one person should have the responsibility of proposing, and that person will have the proposal of...
But what is a proposal if your inputs...
Now, your proposal is that this is what we think. Now, it is not for you to begin to, to recreate your budget. Now, let me tell you, the process of budgeting is such that a lot of things go in. For every project, especially the capital projects, it has to pass what we call needs assessment.
Yeah. Now, listen, let's come back to the issue here. Now, the National Assembly raised the benchmark from $42 to $44. Now, there is no specification of where will the funding come from. How much pressure will that put on the implementation of the budget?
When you prepare a budget, you have it's predicated on some assumptions. Yeah. For instance, 2017 budget is presented one that we are going to sell the major product here is oil. Yeah. It's going to be based on 2.2 million barrels per day.
That's production.
Yes, production output. Now it's based again on 42.5 dollar per barrel. Those are the assumptions. And we are going to, exchange rate is going to be on 305 naira to a dollar. These were the assumptions based on which the budget was prepared and proposed to the... Now, when you make this kind of adjustments, as to jack it from 4.42 to 45, well, assumingly you are making more money available. But the budget is predicated, as I said, on a document. We'll call it a FSP, Fiscal Strategy Paper, and MTF, Medium Term Expenditure Framework. And this framework is for a period of 3 years. Now, when you make this kind of adjustment, see that you are bringing a lot of distortion, in the framework and in the planning outlay. Now, you do not know whether truly this $44 will materialize or not. But even at that, if you have such thinking or you have information to that effect, I thought, my personal opinion this time, is that you take it to the executive, where that will now have support input. It's not for you now to check it to provide allowance for you now to begin to bring in projects, to take care of it. Now, mark you, like I said, in budget preparation, it follows some processes. One of the processes is that for every capital project going in there, it has to pass through needs assessment, especially by those who are proposing it. Do we need it for what? And other considerations. Now, especially if it's road, you're going to look at environmental impact assessment. All these are preliminary jobs done on projects, including evaluation, the quantification, the specification and other things. Now, you bring all those to make up the number that you are proposing. Now, when somebody now comes and says, look, put 10 naira or 4 naira or whatever amount of project, it's that it didn't pass through it, and it's going to cause a lot of distortions. So that is why I'm telling you that, yes, they have the right to vet, they have the right to look into it, but I do not think they have the right, to begin to structure the budget, knowing fully well that they don't have the all it takes, to ensure that projects are well evaluated for qualify as a budget item.
Another complaint from the presidency is that some federal agencies' budget were slashed to augment that of the National Assembly. What's your take on that?
Again, it's wrong. It's wrong because when you do that, it's like we normally when we were doing these budgets, what we call MTSS, medium-term sector strategy. Medium-term sector strategy, you draw it again from MTF, which is based on FSP, Fiscal Strategy Paper. You see, these things are coming from a well-thought-out process. Now, and it means that for you to, because first of all, the overarching instrument there is the government policy. The government has a policy that wants to achieve this within this time. And from that policy, now you start the whole process of budget preparation. like I told you, budgeting itself is monetary quantification of your objective. Now, when you begin to adjust it, you are indirectly adjusting the government objective. Because if I spend along this line that you are proposing now, I may not achieve the objective of the, you may not achieve the objective of the government. Because you are bringing in projects and programs that are external to the government programs. And these things are broken down into departments, what we call MDAs. If you take from MDA to another, it may mean that that MDA will not be able to achieve the objective for which it is set up. You understand? As I said, you now begin to distort the whole structure, you know, and the whole cycle of economic thinking.
Okay, but let's look at some of the projects listed here. Some recreational centers, health centers, but basically are meant for states and local government that were maybe not even recognized or looked into by the federal government. Are this project worth it at all?
There's no project that is bad. When you, the first stage in project preparation is that you draw what you call a wish list. That is everything you think you will need. But by the time you subject it, you know, to the budgeting framework, you now see that there's a bar, there's a crossing line, and that bar is monetary constraint, that I will not be able to take all this. Now that will now takes you back to the need for prioritizing. You understand? Otherwise, there's no project that is not good. Now, when you prioritize as those who that can give the best benefit within the time frame and within the budgetary level, that's why you come out with their budget. No project itself is absolutely useless. But there's a process. That I told you, have what they call medium-term sector strategy. You start from training, you start from identification, project costing, evaluation, and all that. If these projects, as good as they are, if you are subjected them to this process, maybe they would have passed, maybe would have ranked, you know, as priority projects. But for you now to come and ambush the whole budgeting process and bring what you think is very critical. I mean, it's
all right. We'll look forward to a seamless understanding between the executive and the legislature, so we don't have a vacuum in the system. Kenneth Onise, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you
so much. Thank you.